to the guys. And welcome back, gamers and citizens, to the guys. I am really happy to bring you the second episode of CSpeak. What is it? This is a show designed to talk directly to Chris Roberts, to the devs, to anybody interested within SIG. I know there's a few that watch. I know there's a few that listen. Hello and welcome back. I am very happy to be giving citizens a voice and our very own community of gamers a voice. That's the whole point of this series. Now, we're going to be talking about a very important topic. We're going to be talking about crafting, and we're going to be talking about customization. First, we're going to kind of tackle crafting, because there are people that like to play the game more than just for the pew-pew. People actually want to play the game because they want to actually build stuff, and they want to see their creations in the game, and they want to sell them for custom prices. You're making something custom, you're making something unique, you're making something that looks really cool. Then you can pump up the price on it, get a good premium, get a great price, and that makes the game exciting for them. They like to build, they like to be creative, and you have to have an outlet within Star Citizen for those types of people. And a lot of people are in two different camps when it comes to crafting. You have people that are all for it, or you have people that are all against it. It's a very finite thing. It's either black or white is what I'm finding on forums, and it makes a lot of sense. And this is why you have this big disparaging chasm in between these two camps, is because one camp is thinking, oh god, if there's crafting to the degree of which DY wants, one of our very own gamers, if you read his comment, he's actually saying, is there going to be crafting that is more customized? This is what his comment basically is getting across. Can I actually customize like the aesthetics of interiors? Can I actually create things that I can sell within shops? It's a very valid question. When you get into these types of comments, when you get into these types of player demands, which you can see on this poll right here, plenty of people want actual crafting like this. Okay, they want it down to the nitty gritty, down to the detail. They want that type of customization, that type of unique game experience. This is why you have these two camps. You've got one camp that is saying, you know, we want this level of customization, this type of aesthetic quality, the ability to sell this into the economy. And then you have another camp that's worried, thinking, oh my god, if people are able to craft whatever it is they want, then we are literally going to have flying penises on every planet, and we're going to have tons of trolls, and the game experience will be completely obliterated. These are the two different camps. Now what we have to do is we have to take these two separate camps and give them both what they want. And that's what the developers really need to look at. Now, I didn't see a lot of talk about it. This is what Chris Roberts has planned when it comes to crafting. Watch this video. I've had it before on the economic video, but this is how Chris kind of his mentality is. And he is the creator of the game, the brain behind it. So it's very important to kind of get his grasp on what he thinks as far as crafting should get into. All right, so let's watch this video.
To give you an example, you know, if you have a weapons factory sitting on a planet and it requires 3 tons of metal alloy and 1 ton of high explosive and 1 ton of electronics to create 20 missiles in a game turn, that factory will create a mission out on the mission boards, which will have like in a system, and that will propagate to other systems at sort of the speed of communication in the Star Citizen universe. And it will say, hey, you know, look, I need 3 tons.
So now we're going to talk about nodes, because Chris's concept of crafting is very limited to this point. His idea of crafting is very basic. Nodes are AI driven. Nodes are something that happens after colonization takes place on a planet, and there are stages of nodes. These nodes basically are dependent upon traders coming in and out of system, bringing items to these nodes for manufacturing purposes. And at some point there is hearsay that Chris wants players to own manufacturing. In essence, these AI nodes put out missions for players to take items and NPCs as well, and based upon success of these so-called traders or NPC traders from point A to point B, develop the planet or take it back into the Stone Age. I understand what he's trying to do here. I understand that what he is trying to do is create connectivity between solar systems. He's trying to create an economy here. We're talking about more manufacturing, and manufacturing in essence is also crafting, but we're talking on an economic scale. You got a couple ingredients here and there that were taken from point A to point B, or miners will mine the ore, take those minerals to said planet. Planet will then say thank you very much. The nodes will gobble it up and spit out whatever it is that it spits out. And therefore, there is that kind of thriving dynamic with the economy and those players doing those roles, creating connectivity between systems. And as you see here, again, we will get more into this in the colonization video. But there are stages of these nodes developing, evolving. The planet continues to evolve, and you see this start to thrive. But what crafters are wanting is something completely different. Now you see Chris's mentality is a very kind of Eve-based mentality when it comes to like crafting things. Take 3 components of this, 2 components of this, blah, blah, blah. Turn it around in a factory and pump it out, and it's something different. Okay, that's as far as like the crafting mentality goes. Now this could be a very good thing. Eve did this, and I do use Eve as a reference because it had a very good, very basic crafting mentality with BPOs. But then you get into this realm where you have a whole SWG Star Wars Galaxy type of mentality where people want it to be much more RNG involved into it. I think SWG had probably one of the best crafting systems in any game I've ever played. This is kind of the mentality. And if you watch this video, so we've got an idea of Chris Roberts' idea of crafting in itself. How custom is the crafting going to be? And at this point, it seems like it's very basic. Let's look at the designers, the people that Chris employs, and let's look at how they are thinking of crafting.
Milton Friedman asks, a question regarding the overclocking system. In Star Wars Galaxies, we could experiment on the items we crafted to get a better design for that item. This resulted in people being able to make a better version of that item. Through this system, people would become the best crafters on a server, and we'd become server celebrities. People would say, go to this person for the best armor, or go to that person for the best plasma blaster. Is there something similar planned for overclocking or production in Star Citizen?
This is something that CR has been bringing up in meetings for as long as I've been here. Like, this is like those words of being able to strike out and make a name for yourself by playing the game and doing it well. That's, yes, absolutely. That is, the mechanics are still being determined for exactly how that's expressed.
Yeah. The biggest difference we're going to have over something like Galaxies or a traditional MMO, though, is that instead of having a weaponsmith skill that you're building up or an armorsmith skill, it's going to pretty much be how many toys did you break to figure out what the right formula is. Very much like real-world computer overclocking, you have to test your system a few times, and occasionally you may break something, but once you've really mastered how to make those parts do what you want, yeah, you can definitely make a name for yourself with that.
I know that the goal is to have it be fairly equal parts art and science to getting that exact right overclock amount that's gonna, get the full performance without burning it out too quick.
All right, so that was very grandiose to start and ended on a kind of a dull thud, and I'll explain why here. It started off with Chris Roberts wanting to have you have this name for yourself as a crafter, as a manufacturer of goods, so that you could have Al's specialized blaster or name your own item or make something uniquely yours that only somebody could get from you. And that type of level of crafting is what a lot of the crafters want from Star Citizen, but it doesn't sound as if that's what you're going to get based upon the end of the video, being that the designers had started talking about more along the lines of ship customization, of putting items together to make the best type of optimized overclocked ship. It went from crafting to kind of subsystems within a ship. It didn't really cover what a lot of crafters wanted it to cover, which was, what can I make that is uniquely mine, that gives me the name that I want? What else we learned from that video, and the insight of that video, was that you have no skill sets. There will be no skill sets. And that's interesting. So there won't be like levels of skills that you learn that make better types of items. It's a try and see method with items that you buy and put together. And so that is also a very interesting insight that we had gotten from that video. But again, we're getting more into the repair and maintenance aspect than in the crafting, which I find there's a very disturbing divergence in thought on that. I want it to be more geared towards actual crafting of items and goods not going back to the ship and the dynamics of the ship's abilities. And of course that's important, but we know that's covered based upon this video where we talk about the different types of repair pastes, the different types of minerals that are needed from the ores that are mined. So we know that the economy is nice in the fact that, you know, the ores go down to minerals, that, you know, 3 of these minerals, 4 of those minerals that make different quality repair pastes. We understand that. So in that essence, we're talking about crafting again, but not to the customization that a lot of crafters want to see. But I really wasn't happy with that video, so I had to keep investigating, and I found another video by the designers that talked about crafting. And let's watch this video. Is again somewhat disappointing because it again glossed over crafting and went right back into the repair mechanics and subsystems within ships.
So Dragon Slayer asks, are we going to be implementing any real-time waiting for the crafting or building of structures? So if you take your ship to get repaired, will it take different amounts of time depending on the amount of damage?
Yeah, we're actually working on a pretty interesting system to handle a lot of that stuff, and not just for ships, but also extending it out to components, where it's sort of a 2-layer system where your ship or your component is going to have so much durability to it, and that's like its maximum health pool. And then you'll have its current repair state, which is its current health.
Now in that video, interestingly enough, they really didn't get into any crafting that we were kind of hoping for as far as those who are hardcore crafters wanted to get into. Like DY's comment said, you know, are we going to have any type of deluxe living quarter where we can kind of customize the inside of the living quarter? And yes, you know, the Retaliator has different interiors, but we didn't do it. The devs did it. And you know, DY's comment is like, I kind of want to have some control of having like some design ability, which would then involve obviously some type of tool within the game or outside of the game that you can actually design things and then put them into the game, which gets into that camp of people that are completely scared that they're going to be flying penises again. You know, and you know, this is the problem. This is the kind of like the debate when it comes down to crafting. Are we going to keep it very simple and base? Can you make something completely new from items within the game? No, not from what I've been reading. Not from what I've been seeing. And I think that kind of puts a lot of people off, and you have to be careful about that because you don't want to, you know, it's 2 very important things: the economy and trading, which we talked about on the last Citizen Speaks video. You know, you want to make it easy to use, but you want all accessibility as much as possible for all those traders to make money. The same way you want crafters. You've got a whole manufacturing base here. You've got a whole bunch of people that like just the manufacturing aspect of it. And if you keep it very base, if you keep it very simple, you might be taking a very large population of people that will play the game and then say, you know what, I don't want to really get into this because it doesn't offer what I'm looking for in a game. Because there are people that like to play the game more than just for the pew pew. People actually want to play the game because they want to actually build stuff and they want to see their creations in the game and they want to sell them for custom prices. You're making something custom, you're making something unique, you're making something that looks really cool. Then you can pump up the price on it, get a good premium, get a great price, and that makes the game exciting for them. They like to build, they like to be creative, and you have to have an outlet within Star Citizen for those types of people. At the same time, you still have to regulate and make sure that there aren't flying penises in the game. And that's kind of the gray line, and that's why you don't see a lot of this within the debate going on or the discussion going on the forums. You don't see a lot of this on any of the videos. If anybody does have any references, please put them below. I have spent hours on this and maybe I have missed something. I know Justin, who is from Guard Frequency, shout out to Justin. Really great show. I love to listen to. Very knowledgeable guy. If you have any references below, please put them there. We love to learn. We love to learn on these videos. But I have not really seen much in the ways of crafting except for what was stated already in this video. We're talking about customization now. The ability to make something customized is very important, because it's your own thing. And when we get into customization, we're talking about pretty much characters, the way they look, the clothing. We know that will be involved. We don't know to what extent. Again, we don't know if there will be people able to craft clothes. I think that would be a good start. like crafting of clothes only. Maybe start out that way, and then be able to customize them based upon color or looks. I know we can change the character's look to a certain degree, or we'll have the ability to per SIG, but also customization of ships and customization of weapons. I think ships more so is important. Paint, the ability to paint ships. I know people want to be like completely crazy, and maybe paint penises on their ship. That's the thing. You get like you're gonna have trolls that are painting that on ships, and that's not going to be conducive to a very good experience. So there's gonna have to be limitations on how you paint your ship, and that can be done very easily. I don't want the customization of the ship to be where I'm actually buying paints for the ship through the game made by the developers. I kind of want to have more control, more flexibility of what I can put, maybe different types of decals or different types of designs on the ship that I could put on there with different types of paint types, different sections of the ship that could be painted different colors. I think that's kind of how they're going to do it. Every game has that type of customization. I know Elite Dangerous's way that they customize their ships, not too hot about that really. Basically, here's it's a skin. You put the skin on the ship. That's it. You pay how much ever money you pay Frontier for that. And I've got mine having a pirate kind of theme going on my ship. I paid like $5, $6 for it, and then boom, it goes on the ship and it looks that. But people want it a little bit more custom than that. And I think you can offer that type of customization on ships if you separate different zones of the ship. Front of the ship, middle of the ship, end of the ship, 3 different kind of color variations, maybe some stripes, like options to put on there. This can all be done through an easy to use menu. Maybe it can only be done through certain shops. Again, crafting goes right hand in hand with, basically, if you can craft to the ability that some people want when it comes to like weaponry, when it comes to like clothing, then you could also be a shop owner. And we're going to get on that. We're going to get on that topic in a future Citizen Speak. But it also kind of helps the economy bud and grow if people were actually able to have the ability to craft very unique items. Then what you would see is a whole kind of onset of evolution in the economy, where people go from crafting to selling to shop owners, or crafting to becoming a shop owner, owning your own shop, and selling your own goods. We'll talk about that on another show. These are the things that are really important for me. Like Andyoddball says, I would like to make my own skins for my ships. I want my Super Hornet and Saber with Spitfire style camo jobs, so tools so make up your own ship skins would be nice. And maybe the tools that maybe they could provide tools, and those tools would have limitations, but would give you the option to make the ship at least more customizable for you. And that's kind of how everything's got to be geared for, to accommodate both camps, but not to limit either one. To make sure that, or to limit one, and maybe to limit one camp, and to give a little bit more variety than the other camp would like. It's kind of like a give and take. So anyhow, very important video. Here's another one from J. Craig. Would like those FPS weapons to have the same level of personality and customizability, I think it means customization, as the ships. And who wouldn't like a rifle that's like painted absolutely bright red? Here's the thing, like if I had the ability to paint or do anything, I'd make everything black. It's very hard to hit something you can't see. In the regions of space, if your ship is black, then it's a very hard target to actually see, focus on, and hit. Obviously your HUD will be able to target with missile locks, but any type of aesthetic diversion you can add to not being hit is a good thing. All right, everyone, thank you for watching our second episode of Citizen Speaks. As always, if you have any comments that could help us further our investigation of crafting and customization, please let us know. Also, please, future videos, ideas, anything that you guys would like to talk about, please list them down below, and that's what we do. We feature your comments on these videos. We make you part of the video. It's really important that your voices are heard. Thank you again, Star Citizens. Thank you again, gamers, for watching and supporting this show. And thank you, devs, for watching and listening to the many voices and the hearts of people that are behind your game and that love you and support you, just as they do here in our community. On to games. Thanks, everybody, and see you on the next vid, guys.